Alright, so here's some tips on how to install a 2018 American-made Nissan Frontier. I couldn't find YouTube videos that covered everything, so I thought I would make one. A lot of the stuff was other trucks. These trucks are made like in 12 countries, so this is the American-made Nissan Frontiers. It has a SV, so this is an SV truck with the Midnight Package 2018, and it's a crew cab. It's got the top of line Panasonic CD stereo. So I just popped it out to double check the connectors because there's a lot of bad information on the internet about the adapter that fits here. Says that like on Amazon and eBay, it says it doesn't fit the 2018, the 2007 up adapter. But I already had a couple because I just put one in my Sentra, my son's the Versa and the Sentra, and that's the same connector. So they are the same from 2007 and up, unless it's like the Fosgate or something. So it's got 6 connectors. You got the XM radio, you got the antenna and the FM antenna in the dash. I think this is the reverse camera. This is the USB. I guess this is steering wheel controls. And this is your regular speakers. So you got 6 connectors. A lot of the YouTube videos didn't have 6, so they have a different stereo, different countries or whatever. So there's the same 6 connectors up here. I have not been able to find one that connects the factory speaker up here, the microphone rather. I really want to use this microphone because it works excellent. That's the best thing about this radio is the Bluetooth for the audio quality. But the Bluetooth does fail. It's a known issue. It goes in and out. It connects occasionally. You have to turn the truck off and on to get it to connect. It's a pain in the butt. So the truck is less than 2 years old. I'm going to put in a new stereo, mainly for navigation. But planning on reusing this USB down here. I guess I got to buy an adapter that converts the plug down here, or this plug I guess converts this old style USB. So I'll show you the connectors in a minute, but I don't care about the XM radio. Never used it. I bought an adapter for here, bought an adapter for here for the camera. I've got to buy this one. I don't know what this does. I thought this was steering wheel controls. I'm not sure where that goes to. And then this is your, speaker wires. This is your HVAC computer. So there's the computer down there that controls. It's a microprocessor. They went to and pretty much all the cars in 2004 and up. And then one of these is the airbag, and the other one is whatever. Basically, don't turn on the key once you disconnect that airbag light, because when it boots up, it'll check and detect the light is missing, and then it'll throw a code, and then you got to clear it. And I have a code clear for that, so I don't care. And there's other ways to clear it. But the trick is don't turn on the truck until you're done with the radio. There's no reason to turn on anyways. So what I'm going to do is I may put the radio back in, and then I'll start building the harnesses, the adapter. But I don't need the truck, so I drive a Leaf pretty much daily. I only drive this truck twice a week usually. So I'll show you the adapters. Here's my Leaf, and my wife's Leaf. So this is the way I like to do it. I take the adapter. I'll show you in a minute. This one's a Metra, if you use Scosche, whatever brand. They're really cheap, like $6. And then this is the one that comes with the radio. I'm installing a non-CD navigation, Android Auto, dual, whatever. Basically a nice Pioneer navigation. I just want the Android Auto and CarPlay and stuff. So that's the Pioneer adapter. I like to bolt them down to the table, run all the wires, heat shrink them. This is the harness for the steering wheel controls. I tried a different brand in the Armada I did a couple years ago and didn't have good luck with it, so I bought this brand. I've already downloaded the instructions and printed out the color codes to figure out which wires go what. But the plan is to make a harness that connects the steering wheel controls and the radio. And here's the reversing 6-volt adapter, so I can use the factory camera that's in the tailgate. Want to use that. It works pretty good. And where's the other harness? And then I've got another harness for the stock FM antenna. So I've been doing nothing but Nissan radios for the last 35 years. I don't even remember. I guess I put radios in other cars, but I only own Nissans for the last 35 years. So this is pretty typical on all the last ones I've done. Never done the steering wheel controls before. Didn't really care before, but since it's 2018, I figure what. This is the camera. So here's the steering wheel controls part number. I'll do an update later to make sure it works, but it should work. Here's the one that says it doesn't fit a 2018 Frontier, but if you go to Metra's website, it says it does. It's kind of vague. There's the part number, and then here's the steering wheel, the antenna adapter for pretty much everything. I've used quite a lot of these on the last 5 Nissans I've done, or 10 Nissans I've done, I forget. And then here's my camera adapter. This is the first time. So right now, all 4 of my Nissans actually have cameras. My Leaf came stock with it. The Versa and the Sentra, I added aftermarket Kenwoods and Pioneers and aftermarket cameras. So this is the first time I'm putting in an aftermarket radio with a factory camera and trying to use the factory steering controls. So that's it for now. I guess I'll update when I get this harness built. Oh, here's something interesting. This is a male version. This is a Metra 71752. I accidentally bought this. It was like $6 on Amazon. I don't know why. I didn't notice it in the fine print. But I'm kind of glad I accidentally bought it because, like, here's the stock 2014 Sentra radio I took out to put in a reverse camera on my daughter's Sentra about a year or 2 ago. And you can see, this looks like a lot of the ones I see on YouTube where the radios only have like 3 connectors, unlike my truck has 6. So it has the same old antenna. She has a bottom of the line Sentra, so that can't be steering wheel controls because it doesn't have them. And then you can see this 2007 up fits perfectly, and it also fits my factory radio. So I've been using this to confirm, you know, that everything works. So this is the truck side. So if somebody was to buy a vehicle and somebody cut all the wires off, like some places do or whatever, and then instead of spending $5 for one of these, I mean to buy the female version, you can put your truck back to stock without going to the junkyard and buying a harness. Or I just don't want to cut any wires in my truck. Unless I have to. I prefer to leave it all original. That's the way I've always done it. I've seen too many bad installs. So the plan is to integrate all these harnesses into one, tape it all up, and plug it all in as assembly. Oh, this is the main exciting thing. So there's a new feature. This adapter actually had, there was actually a little tag on the adapter that said Subaru only. And there's actually a black wire coming from the truck. So Nissan, as most people know, does not provide a ground to the radio because they just ground through the steel. As of about 86, all the radios are bolted in through steel. Like my 85 trucks, my 74, they mounted in plastic. And I think there's a ground wire or something, I can't remember. But in about 86, they started mounting the radios to steel, so Nissan didn't bother to put a ground wire. But now, if I already tested it with a meter, and there is a ground wire now in the factory harness that goes to ground. So whenever I put in an aftermarket radio, you always have to run the wire back to the radio from the harness and to ground the radio, so the radio grounds through the mounting points. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. It hasn't been updated on Metra, so Metra doesn't know that Nissan's doing that. I'm not sure. I'll have to, next time I take apart the Dash and the Versa or the Sentra, I'll see if the 12 or the 14 has it. And if I ever put an aftermarket radio on that 11 Leaf, my wife won't let me. I'll see what that has. But yeah, so Nissan is now providing a ground on the factory harness. So that's kind of good for all these aftermarket radios. So I don't have to have to run a wire to a screw, which is so annoying. So that's cool. And so I'll update later. Okay, so I went to the website and printed out the PAC steering wheel controls settings. There's 5 wires. And there's 5 wires that come from this connector. But you can see there's way more than 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all the ones that I don't need by pushing a needle onto this little tab, and they pop out. I hate to cut them all off and then figure out I need them later or something, but I think this will be the cleanest way to get rid of all these extra wires. I really hate wires going nowhere. So same thing is true with these adapters. This blue white is the mute, so I took it out. and I need 4 wires for here. The connector that comes with these connectors do not come with any of the steering wheel controls. They come with the generic speaker controls. So I need a bunch of pins. I need these 4 pins. So what I did is I had an extra connector and I stole some pins out of it. So I got 4 extras. Same process. Put a needle in the hole and you can pop them out. It'd be nice if it actually had the brown. I could actually reuse the brown. This is the Nissan factory colors. They kind of conflict with some of the colors for the generic, you know, standard. What is it? EIAA. So there's a standard, EIA. See, I guess every manufacturer or every aftermarket radio uses these colors, but Nissan doesn't use these colors, obviously. So these are Nissan colors that conflict with those colors, so it's very confusing. But so yeah, I'm going to rip all the connectors out to get this thing stripped down, get rid of this fuse, and see if we can make this adapter happen. Okay, so I got all the wiring done. I did end up using the extra connector I bought for a couple of wires because this stereo harness adapter did not have enough wires for the steering wheel controls. So I needed, there's 5 wires that connect it. Steering wheel controls to the factory Nissan wiring through the radio plug. So what I did is I stole a couple of pins out of an extra one. And some of these, like this one, goes to ground, and then one of the other grounds goes to green, etc. So let me show you that. So I've only got 4 wires left. I stripped out all the extra wires. I got this one and this one. One was a power, so I had to tie that into power. It's kind of a mess. It's nasty. But basically, I got it down to, there's really only 4 wires come out because these 2 blocks are basically the same wire. So I got my reverse camera. There's a ground on it and a power on it. And then there's the purple with a white stripe that goes into the radio. So that's that one. And the stereo controls has this big old harness that comes out. All these wires could technically get cut. All I need is the plug. So I've got, this is the steering wheel controls, the reverse camera video, the audio. The audio, I did the same thing. I stripped out, there was an extra blue wire in it going nowhere. Nissan doesn't need that, got rid of that. I got rid of 1 wire out of the Pioneer. That was really hard to get out. To this mute. Wire goes to mute. Nissan doesn't have anything that needs to be muted from the radio, so I de-pinned that. That was the hardest thing to de-pin. So I think I'm good to go. I'm going to try, I'm debating whether or not to plug this into the truck right now and actually test it. Or should I tape all this up and make this look in factory before I go plug it in the truck. I haven't touched the truck. Haven't even taken the radio out yet. I just want to build this harness first. But I used a combination of the steering wheel controls website. You put in your vehicle make and model, gives you this pinouts. There's the EIA standard, and then the owner's manual for the radio gives you a terrible description of what the wires do. It literally says power cord. It says 2 power supply. Power, yellow goes to power, red switched power, orange white to switch terminal, which I think is park lights, black to ground, violet white to the reverse switch, basically reverse, yellow, black, there's the mute I got rid of, blue white goes to an amp, got rid of that. Actually I didn't see a blue white on here. There was no wire on there. Oh yeah, oh here it is. I cut that one. I guess I should de-pin that one as well. And light green is the parking brake. That basically runs to ground because Nissan doesn't have a ground on the parking brake. I figured that out in the last radio I just did. Another power supply, another handbrake switch. There's 12 of those. I don't know. Pretty bad. They don't even tell you what color that is. It just says pin 12. So I can't tell. I don't know what pin 12 is. That's the worst radio wiring instructions I've ever seen in my life. But all I need is really the audio speakers from the Pioneer. So the only connector I can't find is a USB to keep the factory USB. I bought this Axis one, which is supposed to fit, but basically I need a female to convert the factory mini B cable down to the USB outlet, so I could take the USB outlet out of the radio and plug it into the factory USB that's in the dash. So I just bought this one for 10 bucks. It's supposed to fit all 2010 and up Nissans, but I don't know what that is. That's not what I was looking for. So I'll have to order one of those. And I still haven't figured out the microphone. But to be continued. Okay, so here's the cleaned up harness. I tried to group them together. This is the radio side, camera, steering, audio, antenna. The only thing I haven't included in here is the microphone. But and then I got the truck. This is how goes the Frontier. And the other thing is the USB. So there's 6 connectors on the radio. This is 3, plus the USB. I still need to order that adapter and the microphone. And I think that's it. All right. So let's install this. Okay, so this is the cluster out of the truck. It's actually upside down. Yeah, it's upside down. There's the heating and air conditioning controls. Computer down there, airbag and other whatever light. But I think maybe hazard switch and airbag light, whatever. So the way I'm going to take the radio out, it looks like it's a T20. T25 is too big. I just popped off these vents just with a flathead screwdriver. I figured that would be the easiest way to get it out. I didn't want to take out the steel structure, even though it looks pretty easy to take out. I noticed on some other YouTube videos people took that out, but I don't see a need to take that out. So I'm going to take out this factory Panasonic. It's Panasonic, isn't it? May 2018. This is what I saw on here. Panasonic, yeah, made in Mexico. This is an American-made truck, so they get a lot of parts from Canada and Mexico. Let's take this out. Okay, so here's a little trick on getting the radio out. So I took out the side vents so I can access the bolts, and these are actually machine threads instead of like regular coarse, screws. These are actually machine screws, 4 of them. These are really nice brackets, nice and flat, so very easy to mount different radios if the holes don't light up, unlike previous. So I had to take out one side because this radio, and I noticed the radios are all different depending on the country and stuff and the model of the truck. So to get the radio out, they've got this weird lip on here. Pops out. So you got a big old lip on there. So there's the SV radio. So now I can put this back in and then I'll mount the new radio and figure it out. It comes with a trim to fit in there. Okay, so I may have to buy a new dash piece because look at the hole difference. This is the aftermarket radio. You can just see the size difference between the two. They're just night and day. Here's the trim piece. Doesn't even come close. So this is doubled in. This is technically doubled in. It's supposed to be 7 inches diagonally. But the width is still, this is still too small. There's a hole in the dash, obviously bigger than this. See, there's a couple millimeters. If I line it up on the other side, yeah, there's like 3 or 4, that's like 5 millimeters. But then if I line up at the bottom, look at that gap. It's like 10 millimeters off. So I think I'll have to order a new plastic piece like I did on the Armada and the Sentra, because I just don't think this is going to fit. It's just going to be a massive gap. I think I made a stop here and order. I mean, obviously it would fit, and I may be able to put that piece of trim. If the hole is actually big enough. Oh wow. I may be able to get that in on the inside. I have to trim the plastic down here and lay this in. If I could lay this in here, in theory, that would work. And I could actually glue this to the factory one. Yeah, because this is actually all one piece. I've seen some aftermarket pieces that go in the center, but this is all one piece. So I'd have to buy the whole cluster. But I saw some of the Frontier and Xterra on YouTube where it was like a separate centerpiece, like it was on the Armada I just did a couple years ago. Yeah, I think the trick is to mount this in here, and then I can pop the radio in. I think I'll pop the radio in and see how it lines up front to back. Okay, so there's nothing holding the radio in other than little divots. So 3 of the 4 screw holes line up on each side, and you can see the radio's in there just by the little Nissan dents in the steel bracket. So you can tell I'm going to have to use that trim piece to go on the inside. It looks like the back side of this dent lines up with the inside of that trim. So if I just put that trim on the inside and make that fit, this will work. I for some reason thought this was a separate piece because that's how it was on the Armada, but it's not. Anyways, the height looks good. It's just the width. So hopefully I can get that piece of trim in there. I think I'll have to do some cutting. Okay, so here's the factory aftermarket. So if you line up that gap on the front, here's the divots. There, see those 4 divots? That's those divots. That's what actually just held the radio in a minute ago without any screws. So they don't line up exactly right there. So basically it's going to mount like that. So here's the factory bolt holes and here's the screw holes. I think I'll line it up with these 4. I just had them line up pretty good, so it must have been lined up like that. So the radio's actually pushed back more. Oh wait, the aftermarket's pushed back more. Those holes lined up. One of these lined up. Oh, it lined up with like this one over here. I put this one. Man, there's oil all over this thing. They put like WD-40 over all the metal when they made this new. Anyways, they lined up. It looks terrible here. Just amazing how different interpretations of doubled in. So I guess it's better that it's smaller than bigger, otherwise I'd be cutting the whole dash up. Okay, here goes the big test. See if any of this wiring worked. That's your accessory. Oh, it's booting up. You don't need to turn the key to on to get the radio to work. Oh, there we go. Is it touchscreen? Oh, it is touchscreen. Is it defaulted to Spanish? South America? Yeah, I think so. No, we're in North America. How the hell do you... I got Australia or South America? Oh, that's good. What kind of shit is that? There we go. This is the USB in the mic, since I don't have the adapter. Oh, it's annoying, that beep. So, how do you do the radio on this thing? radio. There's volume.
MC who talking all that junk.
Alright, so here's the piece I need for a Frontier to convert the factory wiring into a standard USB-A, so I can recycle the factory Nissan USB plug. That's the part number from this company, Spiral Audio. Not this one. I did some more research and this does not fit a Frontier, never has. This fits a whole bunch of other Nissans, so I'll save that for future use. Let's see if it fits. Okay, so I've removed all these locating tabs, all 8 of them. I think the best tool is a pair of needle nose pliers. Did a really good job of pulling it off nice and clean. Probably very little sanding with a Dremel will be needed. You can see this one came out really nice and flush. So now those are gone. Just waiting for the adapter to come in. Let's see what it takes to get it to fit in this hole. Alright, so just got the spacer that goes around the radio. Fits like a glove. But the best thing about this thing is that, well, one, it's made in USA, which is amazing. Never heard of this brand before. I've heard of PAC, but this thing is definitely best fit. I decided not one of the Metra ones. Also came with a little box or single DIN. So I realized with this adapter, this fits in there perfectly. I didn't even need to cut off those little tabs for the old radio. They're useless anyways. Let me see if I can do this. Fits perfect. Yeah, no trimming or anything. And then, seems to fit quite nicely. I think that's the way it goes. It's the left side, the right side. So, let me fit this back up. Pop it in the truck. We'll flip it over. Yeah, I've never heard of this brand before. Let's see. Yeah, made in USA. American International. It even came with instructions that were actually good. It fits all these Nissan models. It even tells you how to take out the radio. For like a Frontier, which is actually correct. Like all the other kits, I bought a lot of these things over the years. I think the last one I bought was for the Sentra. I think they were just pathetic instructions. So I'm definitely going to have to start using these guys more often. Cool deal. There you go. There's the best adapter installed. It's not the same texture as the Dash, but it looks good. It fits really nice. I actually like this crazy, weird deep dish style. I think it looks good, and it fits like a glove. That's the most important. I thought I usually have to get out the Dremel and file and grind and all that stuff, but I was able to use 3 of the 4 mounting holes on the factory Nissan bracket, and it is solid. So let's pop it back in the truck. There we go. Here goes the big test. There's the accessory. Booting up. Oh, let me shut the door. You coming? Okay, I don't think that worked because the radio's synced. Alright, so let's test it out. Turn the key to on. Put it in reverse. Camera works. Okay, back to accessory. Camera's good. Oh, this thing's going to the wizard. I don't want to go through the wizard. Camera view. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is that the camera? Oh, keys off. It detected my steering wheel controls. Oh, wow. Didn't do that last time. That's interesting. Can I do the radio now? Oh, yeah, this menu thing. Okay, so got everything plugged in. So now I'm going to try to run the Bluetooth up to here. I don't know why or how. But figured out how to get it behind the dash. You just pull on this dash. It actually just pops up. Now I can't get it down. This whole thing comes up. Oh, here you go. You just pull on the cluster lid. So the lid is all one same. So check this out. I got the wire back behind the dash. That was easier than I thought I was gonna have to. I ran a metal steel through there and I got it to that corner, but instead of fishing it that way, just run it through here. Now to get this stupid A-pillar off, it just pops off, but there is a screw you need to remove. I guess when these bombs go off, they don't want the plastic to fly across the room, so they bolt it to the wall. But no screws, just pops off. Just one screw to hold this. So now I'm going to zip tie the wire, not to the airbag, but in here to the little wiring that goes up to the dome light. I think I'll just mount the mic here for now. I don't know, I don't really feel like drilling holes in here right now, or even taking that apart, but it should be. It's easy to fish the wire. I can feel there's a groove. I'd probably even put the microphone right there. Maybe I'll just do that. Okay, so I got the Pioneer. That's the Panasonic mic up here. That's the factory mic. So I got the mic wire ran. I had a little block of wood to that clip to make it tighter. And then ran the wires down here. I zip tie them to the dome light harness. And like I said, you just yank on this and this pops up. You run the wire along there. So to get off this A-pillar post, there's actually a bolt. Yeah, here it is. You gotta actually unbolt the airbag, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, other than that, there's no fasteners to get this in or out. Okay, so here we go. The stereo is installed. Steering wheel controls. That's okay. So the only thing I've noticed with the steering wheel controls with this Pioneer is that I can do the volume and I can do the song selection, but I can't make a call. The phone icon doesn't work, but if I want to receive a call, I can change the devices, but I can change the radio. I don't think I can go back to Bluetooth. There we go. Yeah, I can change the devices. And this is a pretty cool feature. You can actually put it in reverse. See the reverse camera. The problem is you have to have the key to on. The camera is not powered on. Put in reverse. garage. So there's the camera. So the camera works. Just gotta have the key to on. Put it back to accessory. You can actually toggle the camera on and off with one button, which is pretty cool. So here's the completed install. I'm gonna turn the radio on. The lighting is good enough. The 2018 Frontier SV